Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it anywhere and everywhere. You can even earn money all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works.
Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today.
Then you can go ahead and distribute your podcast to Spotify and anywhere else podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take the conversation with your fans to the next level, Q&A polls are the best way to get them talking.
With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions.
And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. We've been using Spotify for Podcasters, and we highly recommend you give it a try. Download Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters and get started.
Everybody, we are back. This is That's So Fringy podcast, and we are having a good time. We wanted you to know that we have another Fringy Morsel for you.
Morsel.
I know you can't get enough of them, but it is what it is. They just keep on coming. Can't stop a freight train. So this week, we were going to talk about Tucker Carlson. It's pretty much what everybody's talking about, right? You've got a guy that's on Fox News. He's the number one watched news host in the nation, and that's a fact. And
Not just on conservative outlets, but across all platforms, everything. He's the highest rated host.
So across all platforms, this guy's killing it. He's got like a $20 million contract with Fox, and come last Friday he gets pulled into the office and he gets fired. He gets canned by Rupert Murdoch is the dad, the owner of the company Fox Corp, and it was his son, and I can't remember the other lady's name. Scott.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, he gets pulled into the office and he gets fired. So they call him in and they fire him, and they're like, you're done. And from the articles that I've read, he was asking why and what it was that he had done and whatever, and they refused to give him an answer. So Vanity Fair actually did a piece on this whole thing because everybody's talking about this. You got a guy making $20 million and he's the number one host.
And he has the demographic that everybody wants, because most people on Fox News have the older 60 plus demographic, and he has the like 28 to 52 or whatever that age range is that they like really want. That's what Tucker has.
The up and comers, the movers and the shakers, the people that are building the America of tomorrow. These are the ones that CNN and MSNBC and all of these other ones, these are who all of these networks are geared towards.
Right.
They want to reach those people because those people have the most influence throughout the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because in the article, one of the articles I was reading, they didn't really give Tucker a reason. Like it was more like it came from above. It wasn't my decision. It came from above.
I don't know. And so then I saw a thing that said Fox Corporation's worth as a public company has sunk more than $500 million after the media company on Monday announced its parting ways with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different numbers on how much they've lost, but like upwards of $800 million in the last 3 days of him.
And I don't know like how these things normally go, but at the end of Tucker's show on Friday, he played a clip of the guy that was basically like helped the police he tripped the guy that was
Oh, the
running.
pizza guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, he played that clip and then said something after that. And he said, okay, I'll see you guys all on Monday. Like, so it was obviously very abrupt.
Yeah.
And it seems weird that like most hosts that are leaving or, because articles are saying they had mutually parted ways and, but most of the time they at least give them an episode to like, thank their production crew, thank their viewers, like nothing. He's just is done.
Seems really weird.
It seems really weird. And I know that there's so much more of the story that we don't know and probably will never know, but it just seems very odd the way that it all happened.
Well, if I may point out, not that long ago, Tucker was very outspoken about the January 6th tapes that came out. And when Tucker did this, he basically ruffled the feathers of everybody that was claiming or saying or believing that this was a real thing. Like this was a real insurrection. It was a real attack on American democracy was the word that they were always using. And which it doesn't make sense because all of these videotapes came out. And I say videotapes like I was born in the 80s, but all of these digital files came out, and then they were playing them on his show and saying, this doesn't make any sense. Is it an insurrection, or are these police officers escorting people through the building?
Right.
Like you see these people being escorted by like 3 or 4 police officers, and they're not doing anything. There's no violence. There's nothing like that. They're just being walked from place to place.
It seems pretty orchestrated, actually.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Almost
So,
like a movie set.
Yeah, exactly. If you watch, there's a couple videos that you could find online that break down that whole Ashley Babbitt shooting. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's such a stupid conspiracy theory. It's like, okay, if you can watch this video and then still say that, then okay, we'll just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But you can look this up. It's on YouTube. I think it's on Rumble. You can find it on BitChute, BitChute.com. There's all these different kind of alternatives to YouTube if you can't find something on there. But if you go to Rumble or BitChute, you can find this video where this guy is breaking down January 6th and the Ashley Babbitt thing like it was a movie, a script, and he shows you all of the camera angles and he explains everything. And I'm telling you, if you watch this one video, you will be convinced that the whole thing was a hoax. The whole thing.
Yep, I've seen it. I agree. Seems pretty sus.
Pretty sus.
Yeah, so going from that January 6th and him being so outspoken about that and everything, I can't remember the senator's name. Oh, it's eluding me right now. Anyway, this guy gets up and he basically talks right to Rupert Murdoch, who is the owner, as we discussed earlier, and he says, I want Tucker Carlson fired, basically. Like, I don't know if it was in those words, and I apologize if I'm messing that up, but he basically, you get the gist that he's saying, I want Tucker Carlson's head for what he did with that January 6th piece, which is suspect.
Yeah,
that
really
he
weird.
would get up there and he would basically tell a CEO or a owner of a company that's been in charge of it for a long time that now you're just going to do what I tell you to do. Like, if people aren't seeing that the media is controlled by these guys that are in government and above, then that was a very clear display of it, because he said that, and where's Tucker Carlson now?
Yep.
Fired.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a thing. I don't know if it's true or not, but it was basically that he's going to continue on Telegram Live. Did you guys see that? Tucker's going to move over onto that. And it says, there's a quote from him that says, I'm finally free. I want to thank Donald Trump for agreeing to be my guest again on my new show that will stream on Telegram Live. I can promise you the truth no matter the price I have to pay. So his first guest on his Telegram Live is going to be Donald Trump.
I wonder how you get a guest like Donald Trump that fast.
They've obviously are close, I would say.
Because I've heard people say Tucker Carlson hates Trump.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well,
wait
there
a
was the
minute.
text messages that came out where where Carlson said he, hated him or whatever it was. But I don't know.
Well, one thing about Trump, though, I feel like as much as people hate him, love him, whatever, wherever you fall, he has a respect for journalism. And that's one thing that Tucker was really good at, was telling the truth. Like you and I have talked about, sis. He made fun of everybody. You did something stupid and he was going to talk about it, whether you were left,
really
right.
ever feel like he was super right wing. I mean, he's conservative, but I think he is even an independent.
I think he is an independent, and he's very, like, if you listen to his speech that he did on, I think it was over the weekend or on Friday, one of those. If you listen to that speech, it's powerful.
Yeah.
And if you're a Christian, like you're all about it because he's speaking the truth.
Yep.
And for this guy to come out and have really the cojones to be able to say the things that this dude said on TV, I was shocked a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
I'd watch it and just be dying laughing, first of all, because he's like a comedian to me. But he's just telling the truth.
Yeah.
And it's almost so shocking that somebody is saying that on national TV.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what he was doing, and that's why he's gone.
Yep. Pretty sad.
I know. I don't. He'll land on his feet. That's the thing is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's already been picked up. You guys didn't hear that? Oh, he got picked up by OAN.
Oh.
OAN.
One America Network. He got picked up by OAN to be, I think, like the director, like the head of putting out the news.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
That would be
them.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like OAN. They're like, I don't know, beginners, I feel like. A lot of the interviews, they're not super polished. There are mistakes, which I appreciate. Yeah. I don't like
I
a
love it.
perfectly
It's real
polished Hannity. Like, ugh,
Well, when you see a
Yeah.
real person on TV, like you're looking up at cable network and
Yeah.
you're watching, you're watching your cable network or dish or whatever, and you're like, wait a minute, that person acts like me. Like that person looks like they're super nervous. And they keep flubbing up their words, but they're not dressed to the nines or anything crazy. They're just, and I'm like, these people are like super down to earth. This is kind of boxy, but I believe them because I see that they're trying to do something. It's actual journalism. That was the thing about old school journalism, is those guys were nuts, and they were like, we don't care what you have. We want the truth. And they were going down and doing.
And now it's all just a show. Like I saw those clips. It was like a compilation, but these guys are reporting for CNN, and they're out in this hurricane that's happening.
Oh, yes.
And they're like, it's so bad. This wind is going to blow us over. And in the background, these two people come walking across the street like nothing is going on. And I'm like, well, this is journalism.
Yeah.
This is literally journalism today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was that one where the camera like pans out and the dude's like on his knees in the water.
Yes,
and he was acting like it was a flood. He was like in a puddle in his knees. You can find this stuff on the internet, guys, if you want to look it up. It's hilarious.
But if you, think back to our earlier episodes, their scripts are coming to them from the CIA.
Yeah.
So they're only allowed to say what is scripted. They're not allowed to go off script. And if they do, they have a handler nearby that will scoop them up real quick. Like, they're not allowed to go off script.
Hashtag Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No? Come on.
Too soon.
It's good, though.
Rick.
It's good.
So here's a quote from CNN. It says, the Murdochs also have plenty of evidence to support the bet that Fox News is bigger than any single person. Just look at Glenn Beck, Bill O'Reilly, Megyn Kelly, and others who have exited the network. None of them have a bigger platform today than they did when they were on Fox News. They all have a less powerful megaphone than the one they carried when employed by the Murdochs. Meanwhile, the network itself has endured.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I still think all three of them have the platform that they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Do you want somebody to feed you the information?
Right.
Or do you want to do your own research and get information and the truth out there, which is really hard to find?
Well, the funny thing is Tucker Carlson got fired, but he was in a contract. So when you fire somebody and you're in a contract and you contracted to pay him that amount of money, now you have to buy out the rest of his contract.
Yeah, and there's usually some kind of a severance.
Yeah, and so he was in. I don't know how deep he was into his 20 mil contract, but they have to pay him the rest of that.
Well, just the fact that they have to pay him all that money shows you how scared they are of what he has to say.
Right.
Because money is no issue to these people. I mean, look at this whole lawsuit issue going on with Dominion, and I mean, they're owned by the same company, so they're basically their company is suing itself. Like it's all just a sham, the whole thing. But
yeah, BlackRock is the company that owns both Fox Corp and
Dominion.
My brain, it's broken. My brain
You
is
got too
broken.
much sun today.
You were in the sun for a while.
I was.
Around a campfire.
Yeah, it was weird. Things got weird. But Dominion and Fox Corp are in this.
They're both owned by the same
lawsuit.
company.
They're
Correct.
both owned by the same company. So you get in this lawsuit, and then boom, boom, boom. Who wins? Who cares? Because you're going to take it from this bank account to this bank account. So really,
So it's the story that
The
it's
story
the
is
story that they're spinning. This goes
Yes.
under that whole false flag
Yes.
category. It's the story that they're trying to spin that's important.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
Because what happens if they actually were to go to court? Well, then there's discovery.
Right.
And then all the evidence has to
Exactly.
come out, which they don't want.
No. So look at all this money that they're willing to pay Tucker
Yep.
to stop talking,
oh, and
which is
OAN,
probably not going to work. But
And OAN is giving him 23 mil to come on.
I literally saw a video of him, and he's in like a super nice golf cart, and he's driving with his wife, and he drives by this whole bank of cameras, and he's just giggling
Yeah.
with his wife of like forever. They've been married forever, sitting next to him, and they're just giggling, driving by in this golf cart. Like he's fine, guys.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Did
He
you see
does
the
not
interview
care.
that he did with Charlie Kirk? It was a little while ago, but Charlie was like, what do you want to say to the young people? Because that's a lot of what the Turning Point USA, they try and go to the colleges and get that demographic
Right.
that everybody else
Everybody wants. Yeah.
And Tucker was like, have fun, get married young, have a bunch of kids, do it big, like, do it. You have one life to live.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. And I was just like, yes, Tucker.
I mean, and
Yeah.
the thing that has really irritated me the most, The View. I can't stand that show anyways. They're all like a bunch of cackling hens to me. Like they're just terrible, terrible, terrible. And they have to have 5 of them to even have a show, because none of them on their own are brilliant enough to have their own show like Tucker. But their reaction to this whole thing was just like so childish. I have a little clip I want to play that is, I was just like instantly irritated.
Let's hear it.
Word has just come down that Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank you for his service to the network and host of the prior contributor. Wave.
They're doing the wave.
That's so cute.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow but we wanted to make sure that we let you know what was going on.
Well, can
'Cause
I,
we
can
don't
I
know
ask
enough
the
about it
audience
yet.
if they'll help me do something? Come on, folks. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na.
Yeah. Here, let's clap and then turn her off at the end of it. Here we go.
Ew, Whoopi Goldberg.
And you're gone.
So
Yeah,
ridiculous.
these are grown ass women. Like you're
like 60-year-old women.
Celebrating
you're
somebody getting
doing
fired.
the wave like it's 1995, and then you're making fun of a guy who just lost his job, who has 6 kids and a wife, and I mean, you're celebrating that somebody just lost their job.
That's how mean these people are.
Right. They're just so
They're
spiteful.
just vindictive and mean, and
conniving.
they just talk down to people, and they do
Yep.
all that, and you're just like, calm down. Like, let's just talk about this. This doesn't make sense.
Right.
Does it make sense that this guy is
And the
is
things he
saying
was-
everything that you're not supposed to
Right.
say, and
the
then
things
he
he was
gets
super
dropped.
outspoken about are things that a lot of Americans are concerned about. This whole vaccine thing, very, very controversial amongst a lot of people. And he wasn't afraid to talk about it and talk about the things that didn't make sense, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
In fact, our next episode,
Oh gosh, what do we got?
we are going to have the group from Supernatural Junkies podcast, and they
Okay.
have a book and a series called The COVID Beast. So we're gonna
Ooh,
broach-
tapping into that.
We're going to broach the C word, and it's time.
Wait,
Not
that's
that
the C
word.
word?
Not that word.
Oh, I was confused at which C word you were talking about. Oh,
Stop it.
okay. So the COVID subject is going to put some people on edge.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is, and
Yep.
and we understand that, and we're not going to belittle anybody.
Nope.
No.
We're not going to tell anybody that they're stupid for taking the vaccine, or they're completely dumb for wearing a mask. We're not going to say any of that, and I'm not even saying it as a joke right now.
Right.
I know I'm very sarcastic as a human being, but I'm being honest here. I'm not going to make fun of anybody for making a medical decision that they felt was good for themselves.
Right.
But we're going to go over some things that we didn't like about it. And it's not to belittle people, it's to talk about how it became a mechanism for control.
Right. A
And
beast,
it's
if you
very
will.
it's very clear. And the research that these people have done, I mean, they wrote a book, they know all about it. And so we're so glad, grateful, humbled that they're going to be coming
Mm-hmm.
on, because we're going to learn from these people that have done that 10,000 hours
Oh, big time. Yeah.
of expert research. So we're so
It's
stoked
going
to
to be
have them on.
awesome.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So Tucker Carlson, put your chin up, man. I think you're going to be all right.
He's going to be.
If you need
he's
a
gonna be
spot
better than
on a
ever.
podcast,
Yeah,
that's so
totally.
Fringy is always open for you, Tucker.
Yeah. Hey,
Shout
listen.
out.
We love the fringy subjects, Tucker.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Trump, you can come on. Biden,
Please come on, Biden.
please come on. I'd
That
like to
would
talk
be
to you for a little
awesome.
bit. I would love that, really. Let's see. We could have Tucker. We could have Chris Tucker even. I don't care.
Oh, that would be fun.
Reach out, guys. Get a
You
hold
want
of
to be
my
on the podcast?
publicist.
Call us.
Yes.
Yeah. My manager will take care of all those details.
The manager is Kristen.
Yeah.
That's true.
By the
That's
way,
literally
all
true.
of our managers. She's mine too.
I have to keep everybody in line.
We're just the talent.
They just show up at the end and they're like, "We're awesome," and I'm over here sweating. So who's the Mary? Who's the Martha?
Yeah. Kristen, just sit down. We have to record.
That's accurate. I'm like, let me just switch the laundry really quick.
Always.
Yep. All right. You guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. We're going to crash this plane down into the ground.
We don't
I
crash.
don't,
We
I
don't
don't
crash
know.
planes. That was
No.
super
I
weird.
started
Why'd
and
you
I-
make it weird? You don't see how he's sitting right
I'm
now.
so uncomfortable.
He has his hands tucked under his legs like a child who
We
just
need-
got in trouble.
We need a studio. That's why.
That's true. We do need a studio space.
I
Close
just
quarters.
was starting that, and I'm like, this is going bad in my head. And then I'm like, now I'm
Abort,
murdering
abort.
people just to sign off of a podcast, and I couldn't do it. I had to pull out.
Too much.
So I jumped out the back with the chute.
And guess who's in there trying to figure out the plane?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to fly this.
Okay, off the rails.
Off the rails.
Once again.
Stay tuned
Every
for Sunday's
morsel.
episode.
All right, you guys, that was fun.
Yeah.
We're getting out of here. That's so fringy.